a Pete Primeau fan.
Thank you for having me.
Your fans are like...
What an honor to be here, Pete. You're a legend. You're a rock star.
I'm a legend in my own mind, said my wife.
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
I'm Mr. Selling from the Heart. What's this guy, Larry Levine, going to teach me about selling from the heart?
You are one of the most generous and authentic people around. And I think that's why you and your show are so attractive to people.
Welcome to the Pete Primeau Show. I am so excited because we didn't finish our questions from last week. So we had to do another Ask Pete. It's episode 244. And after I do the commercials, I don't have to do anything else. It's all on my producer's shoulder, Chris Stone. Couldn't ask for a better person to step in and ask questions. So, guys, we're going to have some fun. If you do have any questions, we are absolutely live here. So without further ado, let's pay the bills. If you haven't bought my book, Sell a Million, what are you waiting for? The best compliment I ever got on this book was from my dear friend, Doug. And Doug said, take the word mattress and furniture out, and what you have is a great marketing book. So this is a business and a marketing book. It sounds like a sales book, and anything that has anything to do with me is going to bleed sales. But if you want a sales book, I've got a sales book. And this is the result of over 2 million miles of travel sitting at the feet of some of the best people in the industry. This represents 3 years worth of sales meetings. So for $20, you got 3 years worth of sales meetings. And don't miss the guest chapters by Jeff Giannakovo, Scott Vaughn, Justin Trumbo, Brent Batterman, Chris Tahaney, Randy Thompson, Mark Klingenberg, Keith Castenguy, Mel Opp, Steve Carnes. And I really have to give a special shout out. Without Jerry Morris, there is no Pete Primeau. I started reading Jerry Morris's books and his articles many years ago. A lot of people don't know this, but Jerry Morris is one of the most incredible human beings I've ever met. Such a giver. Almost every one of my articles just absolutely sucked. And he rewrote them for free because he saw that I was struggling. He saw that I wasn't a very good writer. And most of what you see that were blog posts, those were rewritten, and I mean rewritten by Jerry Morris. So Jerry, I know you're enjoying retirement, but if by some chance you catch this, thank you, brother, for everything you've done for me throughout my career and bringing out the writer that was inside of me, because we had to push pretty hard and put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in there to get Pete Primeau, the writer, to come out. So without further ado, let me pay the bills. Steve and Greg, thank you for sponsoring the show. Anybody out there, if you're in the mattress business, you really need to join the Mattress Industry Network group. If you want to learn how to build, market, sell, and succeed in the mattress industry, this is the place for you. It's 100% free. It's a Facebook group with probably 2,500 people in it. And you've got everybody from store owners to sales pros to VPs of sales, sales reps, owners of manufacturing companies. Everybody's in here. You don't have to be in business by yourself. If you ever have felt like you're on an island, you don't know who to trust, you have questions, come on into this group and get your questions answered. It's just a great group. And Steve and Greg, thank you for what you do for the industry. This is a great group, a lot of givers. in this group, and I'm very thankful for your sponsorship. So thank you. And a big shout out to everybody that is at Scott Vaughn's Wingo Coaching Masterclass right now in Nashville. Right now, they're the best of the best are there. You have Ray Iyer, Brandon Iyer, Blake Iyer, RJ Williams, Fawad Safari, Kristen Sugar, Chris Tahaney, Tony Campos, Tony, I apologize if I mispronounce your name, and Red Egart. Anyone else that I missed, my apologies, but those are the guys and the gals that are there right now. They are in Nashville. They are in masterclass, and they are bringing the funk with Scott Vaughn. And I couldn't be happier for you guys. And my apologies, Scott, that I could not be there. It was my intentions for weeks leading up to the event to be there, but I ended up getting pulled away. In the next few days, I will be in 3 states and 2 countries. So to say that I have a busy week is the understatement. So I am sorry I'm not there, but I am glad that you guys have such a great group. And I cannot wait to hear about the success stories that come out of this group of store owners. And there's a lot of store owners that I haven't mentioned. I just don't know them, and I don't know that they're there. So I did not get a complete list of all the attendees. So have fun, everybody, at Wingo Coaching Masterclass. And Scott Vaughn, bring the funk. I know you will. Without further ado, I'm going to go to sleep, take a nap.
Not so fast.
And Chris Stone, the most fabulous producer the world has ever seen, is going to, that's tell me more, right? The guy whose Lions beat the crap out of my Browns. I mean, listen, you could have had a little mercy on us. I mean, it was horrible. That was a beatdown. I'm glad I didn't watch it live. It was bad enough watching the highlight.
It was a masterpiece. No, it was a tough game. It was a costly game. We lost a couple of starting members of the secondary, but the Browns have a very tough defense, and I do have a place in my heart for the Cleveland Browns because we share a long-standing long-standing losing seasons, as well as, like, they did beat the Green Bay Packers last week. So that was
remarkable, actually.
Yes. My favorite team is the Detroit Lions and whoever plays the Green Bay Packers. That's kind of the way it works when you're a Lions fan. Pete Primeau, as I live and breathe. This is Ask Pete. So, folks, if you're watching live, we see some folks right here on the live, including our friend Andy Anderson saying hello. Hey, and we appreciate you joining. But this is the way it works. We've got people that have emailed in some questions. Didn't get to them all last week. And if you are watching this on replay and you do have a question, you're in the industry and you want to understand something, and you'll kind of see the way the questions are framed here. And even if you want to remain anonymous, a lot of people do, so they can be a little more vulnerable in their asking of the questions. We answer them here, and you can email Pete at peteprimeau.com, and we'll get to those questions here. But if you are watching live, your question takes precedence. So if you have any questions today, we'll put you right to the front of the line and answer them as they come in. Pete, listen, we usually get to about 2 questions, 2 or 3, because the live chat is so active. So we'll, maybe with Wingo, going a shout out to Scott Vaughn and all those wonderful executives who are there, just probably just crushing it and learning how to make their business thrive even more. Shout out to them. Who knows how many people are going to be joining us here in the chat. So let's get into it. You ready to rock?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So the first question is from Hungry in Pennsylvania. Hungry says, Pete, I'm having a tough time believing anyone is doing well these days. Can you give an example of a mattress store that is doing well right now that isn't posting in the Mattress Industry Network group? Also, do you know why they're successful? I need specifics. I'm tired of hearing about a magical line of products that will solve my lack of traffic problems.
Wow. That's very interesting, Hungary and PA. I'm really curious if you're watching right now. Here's my follow-up question. Uh, why the qualifier of somebody who's not posted in the Mattress Industry Network group? Is it because you post there all the time and you read all the comments and you know what's going on there, or is there something else at play there? I'm just curious. So a lot, and maybe it's this. So you know that, like, I'm dear friends with Jeff Janakovo and Scott Vaughn and Justin Trumbo, um, Brent Batterman, Krista Haney, Randy Thompson, Mark Klingenberg, Steve Carnes. You know those guys are all in there. RJ Williams, Fawad Safari. These are some of the most successful pound for pound mattress retailers in America and maybe in the world. I mean, Scott Vaughn, if you look at the millions and millions of dollars those two sleep shops do, and then you factor in the population, Paducah is under 25,000. And then you figure the second store, Benton, is around 4,400 population. That's the population. And they are doing bigger than big city numbers. And so for me, Scott Vaughn, pound for pound, is absolutely the best. So I know you don't want me to tell you about Scott Vaughn, so I'm not going to tell you about Scott Vaughn because he does post in the Mattress Industry Network group. and so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play by the rules that you laid out. So you wanted to know about a retailer that is really successful right now. And that retailer, and Joey is son and father, at Rock and Roll City Mattress in Cleveland, Ohio, and in Strongsville, Ohio, is knocking it out of the park. So forgive me if I am not supposed to say anything, but there's no secret sauce that I'm aware of other than a few factors that I believe are super, super important. So you're probably going to get tired of me talking about these factors, but it is the gospel. So here they are. And please don't send me a follow-up email saying you tried split heads, you tried one, and it didn't work. If you don't try a half a dozen right about now, you're just not serious about the mattress industry, because it's not it's not an Olympic queen that was here and gone within a year. It's been a slow burn for 5 years, and it has accelerated in the last 2 years. If you don't have split head mattresses on your floor, you're missing the boat. I cannot place an additional bed on Joey's floor unless it's a split head. If you go to his store, and I recommend that anybody within 6 to 8 hours go to his store and tell me that you know of another mattress store that looks like this. And if your mattress store looks like just a little rectangle with a bunch of other rectangles in it, then you're missing the boat. So the biggest criticism I get about our industry is that all these mattress stores look alike. And so you have never seen a mattress store like this, because it's an extension of their personality. There are 8-foot guitars in there, 2 of them.
This store looks awesome.
Joey's awesome. And so his father pulls me aside 10, 12, maybe 15 years ago. And he said, Pete, I need to ask you a question, and you got to be honest with me. And I said, have I ever not been honest with you, Joey? And he goes, no. He goes, I shouldn't have said it that way, because you're always honest with me, and that's why I'm asking. Is this stupid? Is me making my mattress store rock and roll theme because I love rock and roll. Stupid. And I said, let me ask you a question. You're not going to believe what I'm seeing right now. My cat is playing with a squirrel. The squirrel's outside and they're like bouncing around, looking at each other and saying,
Wait, I need to get you an alternate camera. I'm going to get you an alternate camera. We need a cat cam.
It was a deer a few weeks ago, but now there's a squirrel actually playing with my cat. My cat's playing with a squirrel. The only thing is there's a window in between the two, but they look like they're getting along famously. Maybe they could have a cup of coffee. I don't know. Anyway, let me get back to Joey. So this is Joey Sr., and he wants me to criticize him, and I'm not going to do it. And I said, the biggest complaint that I get about our industry is all these mattress stores look alike. Yours doesn't look anything like anyone else's. Yours is different. Yours isn't. Joey, you passionately love rock and roll. You are a singer, and you play instruments, and you have your own cover band. This is your life. You love it. And because you love it, it should be part of your mattress business. Because if you can't share what you love, there's no passion, there's no energy, there's no nothing. And so people will fall in love with your love, even if for some weird reason they don't love rock and roll. There's so many different aspects to rock and roll that even me, who probably heavily leans towards, country and gospel and other things, I love rock and roll. And so there's very few people that don't love rock and roll. By the way, that's a great mattress and a great pillow too, which I sell both of them. And so I'm going to be a little bit partial to those. Those are BIA split heads. By the way, BIA was the absolute first company to get into the split head business over 3 years ago. And a bunch of people are coming in and they're renaming split heads, and they're saying, they're acting like they invented it. And it's like, none of us invented it. Hey, what's up? What's up, dude? Thank you.
The mattress plug. The mattress plug is getting a good chuckle out of it.
Manuel gets a kick out of me. He always laughs at me. I love Manuel and his wife. They're great people. And thank you for being here.
For those that are listening only, we have a video. This was a Cleveland news show that did a whole special on Rock and Roll City Mattress, and you can go to rockandrollcitymattress.com and see it. They've put it right here on their website, and it basically looks like a rock and roll museum with really great looking mattresses in it. And so it's just fun. And yeah, I mean, listen, not everybody loves rock and roll, right, Pete? But even if you're not a fan of rock and roll, you can walk in there and kind of go, okay, there's something different about this. I mean, they've got there's a band playing in the middle of the store. I'm not sure if that's...
And that can happen anytime. I mean, somebody can walk in and there'll be a live rehearsal. They can go back in there and listen if they want to.
Amazing.
And they'll wave them in. They're the nicest group of people. That's Joey's dad. Joey Sr., as I call him, and they'll say, come on in. You want a beer? You want pop? You want water? What do you want? So this store is true to themselves. Now, maybe it's a country Western themed, dependent on
hip hop,
jazz, right?
Yes.
Hip-hop.
Yeah. I mean, if you're in
a mattress store with any music, and you can actually do it with any theme. Here's the thing: be you, be different, and express your joy for living in your store. And there will be an energy there that would never be there if you're just trying to be a run-of-the-mill mattress store. So I'm going to say something else. You pulled up his website. Joey does all of his own website. He developed his website. He learned how to do that. Me and Nick, my business partner, yelled at Joey Jr. when he dropped out of college, and he just couldn't take it. because he knew that he could help his dad and that they could make a lot more money if he was actually working in the business, doing the things he felt like needed to be done. And they needed to upgrade their website. He knew that. They needed to understand how Google works and to stay up on Google. He is a wizard with Google and understanding the algorithm and how it changes. And he's always constantly tweaking things. So this is what I would say: creativity, embracing the competitive nature and having something different. So this store had its best month ever last month, had its best one day ever 2 days before Labor Day on that Saturday. It was either Friday or Saturday before Labor Day. That was their best single day ever. These guys, if I told you the numbers, and I can't, you would fall over. Most of you would kill to do half the business these guys are doing. So they're doing a great job. So keys to success: creativity, an extension of your own personality, being you better than anybody else can be you, embracing what's new. The minute I had split heads, he put them on the floor. He was one of my first customer that put them on the floor. He has two-sided mattresses. He is next to one of the biggest two-sided mattress retailers probably in the country. And he takes business from every day with a nice, tight selection of two-sided mattresses. So cooling covers, he is up on the trends. He knows cooling covers is a thing. He wants mattresses with cooling covers. But here's the thing that Joey's doing better than almost anybody. And I'm going to qualify that with Jeff Janakovo's Gardner's Mattress in Lancaster, PA, and Scott Vaughn's Happy Z's. But other than those two guys, no one does bundles better than Joey. Nobody buys better than Joey. Joey, when there's a deal, he is our first, second, or third guy that we go to with deals, and he will almost always put us out because he understands they're not milk or bread. They're not going to go bad. There's no expiration date.
Yep.
And so when he puts bundles together, he's putting them together with some wonderful, wonderful quality products that he bought at discounted prices. So to the customer, they're getting a $300 to $500 value, and Joey has a fraction of that in actual cost. So he's an opportunity buyer. He buys what his customers are looking for. And something that if you've watched my show even 10 times, you've heard me say this probably 10 times or more. Go deep with your customer, go deeper with your customer, with your questions, and with you trying to understand who they are, what their experience, and he goes deeper with every customer. Both Joeys deeply care, and their employees don't stay their employees for long if they don't deeply care about the customer. So the consumer that walks in, they are treated like royalty. They are treated like they're part of the family. And I'll never forget this. I bopped Joey Sr. in the head a few years ago. It wasn't very nice. Joey was just closed the sale, and they were the customers filling out paperwork. And he goes, I feel like getting a Coke. I'm going to get a Coke in a bottle next door. Do you want one? And they said, yeah, I would love one. So he got them a couple. So it's a couple, and they both wanted a Coke. I mean, I think one person wanted a Coke and one person wanted something else. So he comes back and he's got the stuff, and they're drinking their soft drinks together. And they leave. And I go, Joey, pretty happy with yourself, huh? He goes, Yeah, man, that was a great sale. They got exactly what they needed. It was good profit. And I love those people. And I said, and they love you, and you effing blew it. And he looks at me like, and he knows, like, if I say that, I've known him for over 30 years, like 35, going on 40 years.
Yeah.
I've known him. All right. So I can say this to him. But he knew, and he goes, all right, what did I F up on? I go, you just gave them the best experience of their life. They told you that they had been to a dozen stores and they bought from you. And then you bought them soft drinks and you didn't even ask them for a review. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Joey Amato? And, a little blunt,
Hey,
but it's the Holy
he
Trinity.
never forgot after that, did he?
No, Holy Trinity. You got to get testimonials, you got to get online reviews, and you got to get referrals. And he didn't get any of them. But he gave them a great experience, and they went home and they were talking about that store. They were talking about how nice that guy was. They were so excited to get their new mattress. I said, now make sure that your son comes in and cleans up behind you and gets that stuff. He goes, okay, I promise. So anyway, I digress. You guys are going to kill me. I'm telling like inside baseball now.
No, that's great. And I'll tell you this story as well. That I thought this was the best way to get a testimonial for me when I was I bought a pool table for my house, and not a small purchase, right? There's a lot involved in that. And the woman who I was dealing with says to me, can I ask you something really quickly? I wonder if you could help me. And I said, yeah, sure. Because she had been very helpful or whatever. And she said, why did you come here and buy from us? And I paused for a second and I thought about it, and I told her why, because I was like, well, I'd looked at some other places and I just felt like this had more options for me. Kind of gave her and then she said, would you mind? And she handed over an iPad, and she said, would you mind putting that in a test, and like served it up. So I already knew in my mind why I decided to purchase from them. I was right there at the point, had made the purchase, was happy. And then they served up the iPad, and all I had to do was type it in.
Yep.
And it was like, okay, like that's only going to take me a couple of minutes there. It was like it was that perfect moment to be able to do that. Pete, are there any other techniques that you've seen people do right? I mean, the example you just talked about was like how not to get a testimonial.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's the best way to kind of set up people there? Obviously asking point blank, but is there a way to kind of make it easier for them to do it?
Well, those are two great questions. Why did you choose us, and why did you buy here?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they will look at you and say, we bought here because of you. And then now you can just go for the throat and go for the testimonial or the 5-star online review right there. Yeah. Or if you are really talented and you're really aware of what's happening, you play possum a little bit and go, oh, you're just saying that. Thank you. You're very kind. Oh no, I'm not being kind. You earned that. Then you go in. It's kind of like setting the hook.
Got it. So
then you go in.
And here's a really great way to ask for a review. To show up in the chat on Ask Pete on the Pete Primeau Show, Tim Clanky, and say, everyone on here, please leave Big Red Appliance and Mattress review.
All right. So here's the inside baseball on that. So everybody is on the same page. Tim, I am guilty, and I'm glad that you're asking me for a review, because we got an amazing oven from Tim at Big Reds, and we absolutely love it. Now it has to pass one test, Tim, and it's called the Damon test. And the Damon test is, will Miss Jenny's brownies come out okay? So we will let you know in the next week or two if the brownies come out okay. And we will bring those brownies to you. And yes, we will leave you a 5-star online review because we loved our purchase and experience at Big Reds. We absolutely love our oven. So if you don't see a review up there in the next 24 to 48 hours, hit me in the head and remind me I got to do it.
Listen to Pete. We're talking about, as I'm looking through here, and folks that are listening, go to bigredam.com and check out this website. So it kind of goes back to the original question that we're talking about, and what are people doing really well? The branding here is incredible.
It is
for Big Red. They've got the little guy who, what is he? Is he a washing machine? Is that what this guy is? With the red hat?
He might be. But so here again. So Tim is an incredible baseball fan. He loves baseball, but more than anything, he loves the Cincinnati Reds. And when you walk into this store, it screams. It screams. I know Damon says he'll be waiting for him. Yes.
I called it as a washing
machine guy.
That's cool.
This is an extension of Tim's personality.
Yeah.
He loves baseball. He still plays baseball. He's an umpire for baseball, and he's an absolutely insane Cincinnati Reds fan. And I figured that out, and my boss at Bed Industries of America was smart enough to put this together with our crazy designer, Kelly Giordano. And when I say crazy, I mean crazy talented. We made basically Cincinnati Red headboards for the store. And
okay. So so here's that picture. That's really cool. Those headboards right there with the numbers. And
we put red piping on and Big Red's logo on those beds. We private labeled those beds for Big Red.
Nice.
And so, we've been talking a lot about my friends up in Cleveland, but I will also submit to you that Big Reds is incredibly successful.
Well, in the same kind of the same lanes, right? In terms of like, he's passionate about baseball, about the Cincinnati Reds.
Yep.
The rock and roll mattress, passionate about rock music in the, where the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is, Cleveland rocks, that whole thing. So there's nothing wrong with that. It sets them apart. It's a differentiator. And whether you like the Cincinnati Reds or not, I don't. I'm a Detroit Tigers fan, but if I lived in that city and I wanted to buy a mattress, I'd probably go in there, Maybe I'll ask Tim if it's who's your favorite Cincinnati? Is it Pete Rose, Johnny Bench? Like, who's your favorite Cincinnati Red? George Foster? We can go all day on
Morgan.
That. Yes, Joe Morgan. Oh man. I've got baseball cards of all those guys.
Yeah.
And let me guess, the dog's name here, the golden retriever, which, by the way, another great marketing thing. I always put dogs and babies. Dogs and babies work on the web.
Dogs and babies. Sometimes maybe cats too, but dogs are almost universal. Cats are a little more nichey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good stuff. I love the fact, Pete, that when we're talking about this question, I think a lot of people, especially if they're going to YouTube or they're Googling or they're using ChatGPT or any sort of large language model to kind of like figure out what they're going to do, everyone's just sort of looking for that magic bullet. Like, what's the magic thing? Like, give me something really quick, that can help me right now with my store. And it's like, it's not that easy, right? It's lots of little things that can add up to the success that these people are seeing. And there's not a magic line like was in the question on Hungry in PA.
Yeah.
People can give you that stuff, but it's bigger than that, right?
And speaking of magic lines, I'm still got to finish with rock and roll. So they have D2C brands, but they don't have the ones that you're thinking of. because they can't get them because they have a monster. There's a few monster mattress retailers in their market that are very big, and they suck up everything. And so Joey has no Tempur-Pedic. He has no Sealy. He has no Stearns and Foster. He has no SSB, no Serta, no Simmons on his floor. So he's doing it with some D2C brands that you've never heard of, like Lisa, like Bear, like Nola. He doesn't have Helix on his floor. I don't think he has Helix on his floor. If I'm wrong on that, I will stand corrected. And I am sure somebody will pipe in and let me know, like Steve Hauk or Joey will let me know, and then I will correct it. But so Joey, so your question, Hungry in PA, is it Hungry in PA? Did I get that right?
It is Hungry in PA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hungry in PA is like you're trying to find the differentiators. He creates traffic through really understanding Google. He creates traffic through being different. He doesn't do a lot of social media, believe it or not. Big Reds does, and Big Reds is highly successful with their social media. But he is a guy who understands websites, and he understands Google and Google juice. Ace is my 3-year-old golden retriever, says Tim Clanky from Big Reds in Milford, Ohio. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate that. Ace is a great name. There used to be a singer called Ace for Kiss.
Guitar player, Ace Frehley.
That he was a guitar player.
Oh,
and
he did sing on some songs though. So
a few songs, not many, but the Sony producer and you just came out and showed himself.
Oh, we can talk about rock and roll, hip hop, country.
I gotta tell you guys something. For those of you who don't know, Chris Stone spent some time as a Sony producer. He is the most overqualified podcast producer ever in history. Yes, it's true. So getting back to this, no Tempur, no Sealy, no Serta, no Simmons.
Wow.
None of that. Secondary D2C brands. He does Wink. He does Wink. He does Nola. He does Bear. He does some Lisa. And I think that's about it. He was a customer originally of Brooklyn Beddin. And when they got absorbed by 3Zs, he's now a customer of 3Zs. And Doug Krinsky has done a great job there. With Joe and with the family, unfortunately, when there's funerals, there's a handful of reps that will go to those kinds of things. And, Doug is one of those that is, he's part of that family as well. So that's probably more than you ever needed to know, guys and gals. And Joey, forgive me if I talked out of line. I'm not gonna go into anything else, but I would tell you this: if you make your folks that come into your store feel like they're walking into your living room, you're probably on to something. They should not, most people, when they walk into a mattress store, they don't want to be there. It's something they buy infrequently. They don't understand a lot about it. There's a lot of conflicting information about it. There's a lot of confusion about mattresses in the mattress industry, despite there's a wealth of information, good and bad, both online. And that's what adds to the confusion. The other thing that adds to the confusion, it's something people buy every 10 to 15 years, and sometimes longer than that. And a lot of times people get confused. Well, Pete, that's not true. It's every 8 to 10 years. No, that's the recommended mattress life cycle. That if we as an industry could get people to replace their mattresses every 8 to 10 years, it would literally double our business. So, so that's everything I can tell you, that you can do, look at your competition, shop your competition, find areas where they're super strong or they're super weak, and exploit those areas. They've done it both. They were the first in the market with split heads. They're still uh there's a top 100 that got it on into split heads on the heels of rock and roll. But rock and roll took that territory. They put a stake in the ground, they put a flag on the earth, and they took that ground. And now it's up to everybody else to try to take it from them. They've done a great job of giving people alternatives for two-sided mattresses. Coolin and Tufton mattresses are embraced. Actually, Rock and Roll from Bed Industries of America has Coolin mattresses that are tufted, that are split head, all in one. So, and they can be rolled into a box. So all of that is stuff, and they have never been shy about a bed in the box either. So every major new wave, they have been on it. They saw the seesaw going back to two-sided almost immediately. They saw it before anybody else. The only person that beat them to that was Janakovo, and Jeff saw it before anybody in the entire industry, and he jumped on that and he planted his flag there. And anybody in Lancaster, PA that wants a two-sided mattress, they know if they go to Gardner's Mattress and More, they're going to be able to get a two-sided mattress. So,
Yeah, and I think when we're talking about independent retailers, they can be a lot more nimble and take shots at some of these products right before the big guys that might be in the same city and same area, and be first. And sometimes taking a shot at that is going to get you that business and get you that trust locally as well.
I got some texts and I was just making sure it wasn't Joey yelling at me.
Well, are you kidding me? We just did a whole 20-minute commercial for Rock and Roll Mattress.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I'm going to say one other thing. Chris pulled up some footage from a show that was done locally. That is something that you guys, in broad strokes, as an industry, mattress stores don't pursue publicity. They don't create press releases for things that are happening, and they generally just kind of let that go. And so when you get people interested in your store because it's unusual and different, you really, not only do you participate in that, then you put it out there constantly on your website, in your social media. Then you start to pursue publicity. And now you can say, I was on X, Y, and Z, and they were really happy with the attention that they received from the segment they did on Rock and Roll City Mattress. Maybe you should do it too. So pursue publicity, and as much of it that as you can get for free, because today it's tougher to make that door swing than ever before. I mean, we are in some interesting times, and there's some really great success. This is a huge success. And the only reason I didn't spend all this time talking about Gardner's and Happy Z's and exclusive furniture and our friends in Jacksonville Bedding is because you handcuffed me and you told me that I couldn't talk about anybody that posted Mattress Industry Network group. So,
following the rules.
You laid the rules out, Hungry
Yes.
in PA, and I followed them. I hope that helps you. If it's not enough, you want more, call me at 419-560-3169. I'm always happy to help. I don't care if you're in my territory or not. I don't care if you're my active customer or not. I'm here to give back to the industry that I love.
Yeah, Pete, you talked about getting publicity and you talked about, getting that story, and, Rock and Roll City Mattress doesn't get that story unless they took a shot at doing something creative with their store. Cause channel, channel 4, your, news doesn't come out to a mattress store that just sells mattresses, right? There's gotta be something special about it. There's gotta be a story behind it. The guys at Gardner's Mattress and More in Lancaster, what they do for the community, what they do for nonprofits, what they do to help, give mattresses to people who are homeless and get them through, going through off the streets and some of those kinds of things. There's stories behind all of that stuff. So I think that's something maybe Hungry in PA can be thinking about is, what is something that I can do that creates a story so somebody just doesn't go, oh, that's the mattress store in, City X, this is, oh, that's the mattress store that does this. It's a mattress store, but it's a rock and roll museum, and there's a band that plays in there twice a week. Or this is that I watch this podcast or I listen to this podcast because they talk about local nonprofits and charities, and I'm going to go buy a mattress there. Like, there's a story there. And speaking of, Pete, I guess your ears were burning, Jeff. He says, thanks. Jeff Janakovo says, thanks for the shout out. Always great to catch you both together on the show.
Thanks, Jeff.
Looks like also we have some other folks chiming in. Brad Carroll says, hi, Pete, Brad and Becky. Happy Monday. Pete's a legend. This is totally off the wall and subject. Can you imagine calling that name Pete Primeau in Major League Baseball? Now up to bat for the Cincinnati Reds, third baseman Pete Primeau.
Yeah, I've been accused of having a stage name.
It does kind of flow nicely, it's got nice alliteration. Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you, Brad.
And or the Mariners. Apparently Becky says, so apparently Becky's chiming in, maybe from Seattle, or maybe she's just a Mariners fan. Yeah. Hey, listen, dogs, babies, and baseball apparently are good for ratings. Pete.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, Becky and Brad are special. They work at Cumberland Furniture and Mattress Gallery in Somerset, Kentucky.
Oh,
and
okay.
You want to talk about two sales pros that just love their customers, go to the ends of the earth for their customers. You guys have no idea of how proud you make Chris and Kylie Nelson of you. They're always bragging about you guys, and rightfully so. So thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Okay, Pete, we're going to get to the second question.
Are we?
Yes, we are. This is a long one, so give me a second to kind of get through it. This is from Conflicted in Tennessee. Conflicted says, I've been following you for years. Thank you for all you do for our industry. I need some advice. My business was slightly profitable for years. We have had some exceptionally good years as well. We broke even last year. This year, we're losing money. My wife wants to close the store, and I want to keep it. We are a medium to better goods furniture store with a strong mattress business. We've been in business for over 30 years. I'd like to think we have kept up with the times, but I'm not sure we have. My wife wants to spend time with the grandbabies, and I want to make sure we are set before we sell or close. Sorry to put you in the middle of this. I need some advice. Should I listen to her? If I stay open, what moves would you recommend? From Conflicted in Tennessee. What?
I can't win. I'm in trouble with somebody. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
All right.
Is my wife right or wrong? Right? Is that what you're thinking?
So there's not enough information for me to answer that question, but I am going to tell you that you might be an alpha male like me, and like I always get the last two words in with my wife. Always. I completely dominate, and what I say is yes, dear. Yes, dear. So you want to stay married, you probably got to go with her. Now we're going to talk business. Here's the interesting thing. You've been in business for over 30 years. So I'd like to think that if you had a good year last year and now you're just slightly. So all right. So I'm going to go back in time. I'm going to go back 30, 40 years. My mentor, George Cooley, said to Uncle John Mancino, who was belly aching about his mattress business. And he said, should I close it? And George Cooley said to Uncle John Mancino, he goes, you've pulled a nice living out of there for 20 plus years. He goes, if things haven't fundamentally changed and you're just going through a rough patch, you probably should put a little bit of money into the business to see if you can get it going again. And he encouraged him to look at areas of improvement or areas where he hadn't kept up with the times. And Uncle John I think he lasted another couple of years, and then he finally just got tired of it and he closed it. A lot of it has to do. So the most significant thing in that whole letter, can you pull that back up?
Yeah.
Was this idea of, I think I've kept up with the times, but I'm not sure we have. So what that says to me is you're aware of things are changing. And listen, if you're watching this, which you may or may not be, but if you're watching this, give me some more perspective. Like, what changes have you made? I'm going to give you a laundry list of things right now. Okay. Do you have split heads on your floor? And one split head on your floor is not enough. You got to have a half a dozen. If you have 20 or 30 mattresses on your floor, which you probably do, because you said that you're a furniture store, but you are heavily invested in mattresses. So I'm guessing you might even have as many as maybe 40 mattresses, but for sure 20 to 30. You've got to have at least 4 to 6 split heads on that floor. You've got to have cooling covers. You probably should have tufted mattresses. If you don't have a half a dozen two-sided mattresses on your floor, you're missing the boat. Whether your competitors carry them or they don't. If nobody carries them, you can actually put that flag in the ground. But here's the key. You can't just put them on your floor and expect them to sell. You have to advertise them, and you have to advertise them in every ad that you place. Hey, your two-sided mattress headquarters, whatever, but you have to let everybody know that you have split heads, and you show a picture of split heads because no one knows what a split head is. But when they see that picture of that split head, they go, oh, that's that mattress like they have at Sleep Number. Sleep Number has created a category of mattresses, and they don't necessarily have to be air beds. They can be great all foam beds. They can be great hybrid beds. That configuration interests people because millions and millions of dollars have been invested in Sleep Number's advertising. They literally created a market for you. And if you're not taking advantage of it, shame on you. Man, that's a pretty high percentage. I don't even know.
Tim Clanky just broke the internet with that percentage.
Yeah.
But
you know,
that's
Tim. So here's the other thing. When you say that you've tried to keep up with the times, but maybe you haven't, to me, the most important part of that is you're willing to try. And it means that, like, inside of you, you're still a student of the game and that you want to make this work. And I understand where your wife's at. And I have to tell you that I have coached a lot of couple owners through this situation. And if she's really made up her mind and she just wants to be with the grandbabies, you guys just have to have a heart to heart about that. But if there's any uncertainty about the financial wherewithal to completely retire, you guys need to get your books out, and she needs to disclose some of those savings accounts that you don't know about. That's right, brother. I said it here on the Pete.
Dang, Pete.
I said it here. There are accounts that you don't know about that she knows about. And maybe you think you have a couple of $1 million, but you have 3 or 4 and you don't even know it, brother. So
Stuffing money in a mattress, right?
You guys got to sit down at the kitchen table with a blank pad of paper, and you've got to have a come to Jesus about your finances and about what you want to do the rest of your life. Traveling is expensive, and you might be able to bring in somebody who's uber talented, and you might spend a little bit more in a salary and a compensation package than you're used to. But if this person frees you up and gives you an extra 20 or 30 hours a week with your wife, you guys can have a happy life, keep the store, and travel and have the best of all the worlds. So two-sided mattresses, split heads, cooling, tufted mattresses. Most importantly, people get tired of me saying it, and I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but here is the gut check time. Am I doing my best to get 5-star online reviews? Am I doing my best to get testimonials? Am I doing my best to get referrals? If you're lagging at any of those 3, you're in trouble, and it's good trouble, because you're just slightly down. You're just dribbling a little bit of money. You fix those things, you're off to the races, brother. You're off to the races. Here's the other thing. Realistically, how is your website? That's not for you or your wife to decide. It's for your customers to decide. If you're in a buy-in group, put it up to a peer review. Find 10 dealers that you respect. You look at their websites and you go, these people are good. These are the Joeys of the world. These are the Tims of the world. These are the Scotts of the world. These are the Jeffs of the world. Submit it. Do you know how much time those guys spend looking at other people's stuff for free? Lots. They're really talented. Find your tribe and have them critique your social media, have them critique your website. You do those 5 things, you're going to find all kinds of money everywhere. And it should push you from being slightly in the red to being solidly in the black, even with today's challenges. We just spent a lot of time talking about Joey and Scott and Jeff and Tim's businesses. These are guys that they're knocking it out of the park right now. And they're in tough business conditions just like you. So did I answer all those questions? I know we're running.
I think so. I think one thing, one caveat, and we do have a comment here from Anthony Klatt that we want to maybe close with.
Sure.
What I noticed was Conflicted in Tennessee was talking about closing and my wife wants to close and all of that.
Right.
But there was never hey, what about preparing your business to sell, right? To sell your business. And I think that's one thing. Like if you've done enough to create enough value behind what you do, and like to your point, bring in somebody that you can eventually wean into the business, sell the business. That's always another option for you as well, as opposed to just going out of business, and
100%.
just closing the door. So we have a comment here from Anthony Klatt. Says, should they decide to close, there are 2 ways to wind down: quietly or make a lot of noise and a lot of money. 30 years in the community almost demands a big push at the end.
I agree.
If the fire's still burning, consider a GOB. I'm not even sure what that stands for.
Going out of business sale.
Oh, going out of business. Okay. Consider going out of business and then reopening with a different, more narrow and focused furniture and mattress format. Even consider being open fewer days to provide more time together with the grandkids. That's great advice.
Money, Anthony. Thank you for that comment. and everybody that watched, reread Anthony's comment because it is absolute money. I didn't get that far with the question, and that brings us to a close today. So thank you, everybody. Chris, thank you for doing a fabulous job. And listen, keep the questions coming, guys, because they're great questions. They're questions that other people are asking, by the way. I've never gotten one question on the show that there probably wasn't 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 people asking the same questions. So
That's it. That's it.
Thanks,
All
everybody.
right, Pete, go forth, sell a million and
No, have fun.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Sell a
Have fun
million.
first.
You got to have fun first.
Okay.
Have fun, everybody, and sell a million.
See you
Thanks.
guys.